So today I'm sharing this idea that if you look online, there's the 6th and 7th book of Moses, and it talks about the angels, their stars, and how it's said in Latin. And you'll recognize that these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, the 12 constellations, or the 12 tribes. And then also that there's 7 princes standing before God, to whom are given the spirit names of the planets. And an angel year is 365 of our years. Each day of theirs is a year for us. This is not said to be attributed exactly toward Moses by all Jews, but there are those. So I'll read it. In other words, the angels of the months. Malchida El, the star is Teletriel, and in Latin you'd say Ariel, which is like Aries. Asmodel, the star is Zariel, in Latin you'd say Tauriel, which is Taurus. Ambriel, the star is Tomil, and the sign is Gemini, the angel is Geminiel. Muriel, star is Sartimel, in Latin you'd say Canceriel, or we say Cancer. Virtae, which is Ariel star. In Latin we would say Leoniel, which is Leo. We have Hamaliel, which is the star is Bataliel, and in Latin we would say Virginiel, or Virgo. We have Zuriel as the angel, with the star being Masuel. Libriel is in Latin we say Libra. And when I say we, I mean the American or the Western or the current societal culture, the astrology world, whoever. In Judaism, we also say these things, but we have Hebrew words for them. The original Hebrew lunar months related to the angelic powers. So then we have Barbiel, which is Erahiel as the star, and Scorpiel in Latin, which is Scorpio. Dvachiel, the angel, the star is Hesatiel. In Latin, we would say Sagittariel, which is Sagittarius. Hanael, the angel, is with the star Hesatiel. And, not Hesatiel. I just read that, didn't I? Let me go back. Let me see. Okay, it was Barbiel with the star Erahiel, which is in Latin Scorpio, which is Scorpio. Then we had Advachiel, angel, with the star Hesatiel, which is Sagittarial, which is Sagittarius. Scorpio, Sagittarius. All right, Capriel in Latin is Gediel, the star, which is for the angel Hanael, and we say Capricorn, right? Then Gambiel, the star is Doliel, in Latin we say Aquarial, which is Aquarius. And finally Barehiel, as an angel, has the star Dagimel, and actually in Hebrew we say Dagim, and in fact Gedi we would say some of these actually do match what we'd say in Hebrew. Like the virginal Bataliel is actually Betula. In Hebrew would say it means virgin. And the Gedi is like the bucket for Capricorn. Not for the goat. And then Dagimiel is the fish. In Hebrew we say Dagim. Anyway, it's Pisciel in Latin, or Pisciel, and then we would say Pisces, right? So the 7 princes are Sabathiel, or Sabadiel, Zedekiel, Madimiel, Semeliel, or sometimes, or could be Semishia, Nogahel, Kohabiath, or Kochabiel, and Jariahel. But since we don't really have a J in Hebrew, it's written in English, we would say Yariahel, or Yevanael. Now, Sabachai is God sends hunger, tribulation to earth through this. So and the angels of the planets are Zaphiel is Saturn, Tzadkiel is Jupiter, Kamael is Mars, Raphael is Sun, Haniel is Venus, Michael is Mercury, Gabriel is the Moon. And so Levahan causes all things to increase and decrease. Koachab is trade and commerce. Noga, or Nogahal, is food, drink, love, consolation. And Hamnia, which is light, power of distinguishing between time and life. Modim is wrath, hate, lies, war. Sodek is honor, favor, righteousness, holiness. And it sounds very similar, like Tzedek, Sodek, Shabbachai, and so on. So, and then I'm going to share, like, when we hear what does it mean to be Jewish, I started talking about this yesterday, but I want to talk more like, so Judah, Odeh, Modeh. Modeh means thanks. Modeh means to prostrate, even in the strong form, to bend the knee, kind of, to say, oh, and Odeh, like thank you, like Odeh is also related to giving yourself over, right? And Judah, so that comes also, like Yehuda comes literally from gratitude, the word Hoda, which means like splendor, praise. We know being Jewish means might and courage, faith in God, in the self, in life. Gratitude and not getting stuck in materialism, objects, money. That's all flow, or we call in Hebrew mazel, or luck and currency. It's changing all the time. A host made us to be hosts. We have to be humble and a good guest who hosts the creator of all hosts. And not try to be the controller, the manager, the director of everything in our lives. So, in terms of being a host, you know, if I am hosting a man, right? Like a woman hosts a man inside of herself, or a baby. I thought, well, what do I want in a man? We're all women for God, right? To some extent. But if I'm a woman for a man, what do I want? I want someone who's circumcised. The parents had sanctified marriage before they conceived him. I want a reliable and trustworthy and self-sufficient man who's open and sensitive enough to tell the truth about reality to himself and to others, who exercises, meditates, expresses, creates regularly, to have in and out energy that balances, aka like a frequency homeostasis, knows how to ask for help and grateful for support, prefers to focus on brightness, goodness, silver linings, the bigger, better picture, lets depths and heights be incomparable beyond being inverses of each other. You can't compare depth to height. They're not just like, oh, as deep is as not high. I mean, as deep is as not high, or as high is as not deep. It's not that way. So someone who's not arrogant or closed-minded or pretentious or degrading or berating, and acknowledges their mistakes as part of growing and learning, takes accountability for them, and is generous, helpful, kind, warm, and affectionate, and gentle. I'm not saying a gentleman, but someone who can be gentle. And who do I want to be? You know, and I wrote this a couple years ago. I think it was maybe less than 2 years ago. So I don't remember if it was the Jewish New Year or not, because there's been a leap year. Okay, so I decided I want to be proud of the art that Hashem reveals through my unique channel and see its preciousness and charge an amount I can live off of and be financially independent. I still want that. I want to be proud of myself enough that I can maintain my own forward momentum and not need people to tell me where, when, how I'm worthy of their love. I want to trust Hashem, God's choice of which man to get engaged to and eventually marry, build, and procreate with. That's something I'm just learning how to do. Instead of who I choose, who God chooses for me. From before I was born, I want to be ready to really enjoy a passionate, holy sexual exchange that mirrors in the physical what happens in the verbal and emotional. I want to trust that Hashem can take care of, protect, guide, and heal, and cheer up, and align everyone better than maybe I can. And that includes me too. I want to get my consumption more balanced through mindfulness around substances that raise or lower my mood, and also to have the respect necessary to listen to my intuition and obey it as the voice of God inside of me. And I want to be compassionate and a better listener, more patient and calm, and able to de-escalate. And before I finish, I want to share a little more about angels, the idea. So some examples we have, we learn about angels and I want to just make a comment. In Gateways to Your Heart by Rachamim Weiss, we learn there are 1,540 firmaments showering good influences on he who tithes properly. Aster to Aster, thou shalt surely tithe. The gematria of Aster to Aster is 1540. This is from Devarim 14:22. So that's an example of like how, just a tiny example of how what we do can cause angels. Just tithing a tenth. We're like living in a code. We're part of the code that God asked us to honor and be part of. So it turns out it's like Judah is actually a name for an angel I gave, but could actually be Jehuda that carries basically Jehuda is an angel. So this is more like what I was researching. We would say these are Kabbalists. These are not always necessarily are they reliable. That's why I made a comment. It's not necessarily from there's no 6th and 7th book of Moses. There's 5 books of Moses. I should have started with that, but this is the idea that there are some who continued writing down a lineage that you have to trust. They're writing down the oral Torah that they feel was passed on with words, but not written down. Maybe it's too powerful to be written down for just anyone. Anyway, so there's this idea of this one of the angels, which is Jehuda, and is one of the associated with the idea of the archangels, who directly serve God. There's various sets of the lists. Just one of them is Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Salaphiel. Where are we? Oh, here. Oh, and Barchiel, right? And Jehuda. Jehuda carries a whip and a crown and for reward and punishment on people. And there was a time I felt like I got a channel from a messenger, an angel. This is during a spiritual experience I had named Judah, but I think it was Judah Huda. So that was really affirming for me because I had my own experience and then learned about it. So Barchiel, who I mentioned for a moment, the main 4 that people know is Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, and Raphael. Raphael, healing, Gabriel, strength, Michael, kindness, Uriel, light. And then there's Salaphiel, which holds incense, thurible for worship, and it means I asked God. Then Barchiel is associated with these, is the archangel of blessing with more than 496,000 ministering angels for him. He's an angelic prince. Then we have Lahadriel, who is Raphael's chief assistant. He transforms lightfully demonic energy to independent light generators that are unified. And we know that when we light candles, we say lahadlik, like to kindle. So this is one who takes something that's like a black hole and turns it into a light emitter. This is an angelic force. These are just some examples. Another is Shema'el, which is gratitude, serenity, fulfillment. In turn, I listen better, fully and faith-filled. So when we're really listening, we can feel grateful and have serenity and fulfillment. So it's like the angel helps us to listen so we could get there. Then we have Ahiel or Achiel, depending on how you say it, which is the brother of God. It assists time, literally time, also known as Kafziel, which is connection to Saturn. And it's in the 7th heaven, a prince of the powers angels. And I'll say one more for now, which is Chaniel. Chayin or Chaniel is related to like grace. So most of us know Netzach, which is the planet related to that is Venus, is perpetuity, it's victory. And when we think about it, it's like the west wind guards. It's like the grace of God, really. And I'm going to stop here for today. And I wish you a beautiful evening may you feel the right angelic forces surrounding you, helping you, protecting you, guiding you, transforming you. Just, we learn in Judaism, we just got to make the vessel. So we got to do what we got to do, whether it's tithing or whatever. We get blessings through our being part of the code of the angels.